thought that he was referring to him as being with the Russian team because Blatt is actually born and raised in America and became an Israeli. He's married to an Israeli woman. More on that in a second. The starting five for Russia. Vorontsevich was the man that really tore New Zealand apart in their 8th final. Sasha Khan played collegiately in America at Kansas, won a national title. Then they've got Punkershov, Sergei Bykov, and Monya. Sergei Monya also playing in the NBA. Bykov is moving to CSKA Moscow this season. David Blatt, one of the most colorful, articulate, candid coaches in the world of basketball. Probably his most famous moment leading Russia to the gold medal at the Eurobasket 3 years ago. And for Team USA, Kevin Durant, Iguodala, Derrick Rose, Chauncey Billups, and Lamar Odom. Durant, again, has shown no signs of cooling off from last season in the NBA when he led the league in scoring. Mike Krzyzewski is every bit the legend and takes this job extremely seriously. He's been very humble. And I'll tell you one thing, he said all the right things since he's been here. We'll see if that continues, but he's going to have some tough games coming up, starting with today, one would think.
Yeah, 3 officials have got an awful responsibility here, as well as the physical nature of the game that we expect. I fully expect a lot of calls to be decided or thought about. Was it, wasn't it? Above the rim. I remember back in 1994 in Toronto, the Russians were incensed that a lot of the play was above the rim, and there were a lot of very, very 50-50 calls that went the American way. A team of great athletes representing the United States, and with Timothy Mozgov in there as well for the Russians, then it's a big man's game initially. I just wonder whether Coach Blatt is going to start with Timothy Mozgov. Was that on the caption? He didn't start with him the other night against New Zealand.
So and, he's going to come off the bench. Starting Sasha Khan.
Yeah, Mozgov has a problem. He picks up early fouls, so that's why he's been kept in reserve, I suspect.
Hello, basketball world. If you're tuning in now, it's the 3rd quarter final of this FIBA World Championship here in Istanbul. The United States taking on Russia. The Russian players being introduced inside the Sinan Erdem Dome. And you really do feel like right now we are at the business end of the tournament. We watched some incredible quarterfinal action yesterday. The defending champions, both in the world and Europe, Spain, were knocked out by a late Milos Teodosic long three-pointer from the different county. And in the nightcap, Turkey just continued to run roughshod over the opposition, completely destroying Slovenia in a game that many fully expected to be close. So maybe those two teams will have something to say about the medal race. They'll meet in the semifinals. The winner of this game will take on the winner of the next game between Lithuania and Argentina. And the Americans have really kind of captured the imagination. Even Spike Lee, the movie director, came over to watch a few games and have breakfast with the team. He wants to see how good this USA team is. I think he's actually going back home now. The Russian fans are here en masse. And Punkershov shaking the hands of the referees. I think the Americans realize now is when it starts to get serious. And it's going to be interesting to see how they come out and react what is expected to be a very physical defense. I mean, David Blatt told us he makes no secrets about his plans. He's going to come out and not so much brutalize, but he wants his guys to play physical defense the way they did the other night against New Zealand.
Yeah, the Americans have had one close game so far in this entire tournament. They beat Brazil by 2 points in the knockout stages. They overwhelmed Angola in a repeat of the 1992 Olympic game.
And also the 2008 Olympic game.
But this an entirely different situation against a very, very tough, physical and emotionally strong Russian team.
I think Sasha Khan and Kevin Durant know each other from their college days. 2 very different types of players, but Durant looks like he's just as tall as Sasha Khan. Well, quarterfinal, 2nd day of the quarterfinals here at the FIBA World Championship. Russia taking on the United States the winner to face Lithuania and Argentina, who will play later tonight. I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Roy Birch, and this is going to be what I expect to be quite an exciting game, at least early on. Sergei Bykov. Well, they say, David Blatt says his team can't score, but they've gotten off to a good start. And travel called against Andre Iguodala. And Iguodala and Andre Voracevich already exchanging words. So Voracevich trying to take the ball away from Iguodala, and Iguodala was having none of it. Bykov going up against Derrick Rose. The American defense, well, we talk so much about the Russian defense, but really the Americans take a lot of pride in their defense. I mean, their coach is Krzyzewski, and that's basically the only thing he talks about, it seems like, defense.
Haven't seen the Americans employ too much zone defense yet in their legendary man-to-man.
Well, they're in the zone now.
Yeah, that's a shock.
Savage over to Ponkashov. Cross court to Monia. 1 on the shot clock, and the Russians looking a bit disheveled, a little lost, perhaps.
Perhaps one pass too many there.
Caught off guard maybe by the Americans not coming out in the man. Rose into the very strong and physical Iguodala, and on the follow, and Lamar Odom fouled by Sergei Monia.
Yeah, the one thing the Russians have got to do, they've got to keep command of their own defensive backboard. Sloppy play in there, and they've given up an and one.
Ponkashov is going to bring the ball up the floor. Some American pressure. Token pressure. Now they're in the man-to-man. Bykov takes it back, bounce pass to Kahn. More of a traditional center, back to the basket. And Kahn doesn't come close on that one. And I think David Blatt's going to be signaling a timeout. Anyway, Kevin Durant for 3. Voracevich guarded closely by Durant. Bykov. And the foul on Rose.
First personal foul, 85 teams first.
But both coaches trying to work out exactly what pace or level of physicality this game is going to be refereed under.
Voracevich tripped up, unintentionally, I think, by Andre Iguodala. I think that was the case of Iguodala just having big feet. Bykov looks to inbound it into Voracevich for 3. Picks up right where he left off against New Zealand. And quickly to the other end, the Americans, and Kevin Durant scores. And Ponkashov now is going to get an earful from David Blatt as Iguodala meets at the free throw line with Durant. Look how quickly the USA get the ball up in the bounce pass.
Well, no matter what the opposition, the Americans want to run. And in the blink of an eye there, sadly for Russia, they picked up their second and 1 foul.
Well, 3 times down, and this time the U.S. failed to convert. Ponkashov drives in, and Kahn keeps it alive and doesn't go down. Good effort that time from Kahn. And Iguodala drives in this one shot and out. And the foul on Iguodala. Already a couple of quick fouls here from Iguodala.
Well, Russia against New Zealand, I don't think we saw a foul called in the first 5 minutes of the game, and already we've got 5 fouls called and only 2.5 minutes gone.
It's frustrating for Iguodala to pick up those quick fouls. Russell Westbrook now into the game. And Vorncevic hands it off to Sergej Monya. Bikov. And Sasha Khan, and the ball goes out of bounds, so Russia. Well, if David Blatt does want to uglify the game, I have to say a couple of times down here, he's done a pretty good job of it. But here comes Mozgov. So already Timothy Mozgov is going to get a strong dose of the type of players he's going to be going up against next year.
Now that surprises me, taking Count out. Why not leave Count in and put Mozgov in as well? Because at the moment, Count was having a good game inside. Okay, missed a couple of layups, but he was getting good looks.
Maybe he's going to take the approach that Sergio Hernandez took and just completely bring guys in and out at every opportunity. Mozgov.
Offensive foul, Mozgov, that's his first.
The block on Lamar Odom. But Mozgov had no height to go up against, no big bodies against New Zealand, but it's a different story now, and that was the call that was made yesterday, moving screens 4 times in the space of 35 seconds in the Spain-Serbia game, and the referee right on top of it. 2-3 zone, and Chauncey Billups misses. He hit 5 threes the other night against Angola. And Sergej Bikov into the lane. Russia getting good shots, they're just not making them. Vorncevic to Bikov for 3. Sergej Bikov says, look at me, and he puts his team on top.
Well, David Blatt much relieved that went in.
Can you imagine the implications of a Russian win over USA? The foul on Mozgov. I mean, can you imagine what would happen back in Moscow? It would be unbelievable.
Well, Mozgov very fortunate there not to get the foul called against him. It was actually Sergej Monya. And Monya comes out.
But Sergej Monya takes a seat. And Vitaly Fritzen comes into the contest. Fritzen, a good three-point shooter.
To counter that question, Jeff, can you imagine the reaction back in the States if Russia win this?
It would be like, why have we taken this approach of sending our best over? Some people would argue it's not their best, but I think it's pretty hard to argue. This is really, you're splitting hairs when you send this kind of team over here and say it's not your best.
It's the best available.
Absolutely. And half of these guys will be in the Olympic team. Almost. Some trouble there. Vorncevic passes up to 3, over to Ponkershaw for 3, off the rim. Vorncevic keeps it alive. Now the outlet pass quickly from Odom. Here comes to Russell Westbrook. And Sergej Bikov picks up the foul. That's how quick the U.S. gets in transition.
Yeah, Bikov asking for a substitution here.
I think this is as early, David Blatt talks to the ref, as early as I've seen Westbrook come into the game at this FIBA World Championship. USA 4 of 5 at the free throw line. Russia have yet to take a shot. Now 5 of 6, 83%. We'll take that any day of the week. And tough shot, and I don't think David Blatt's going to be too happy with Vorncevic.
Great defense there, almost a 5-second call, and they forced the turnover.
Derrick Rose goes right past Bikov, but good help defense from Russia. Knocks it away, but the USA gets it back. Rose, little flick into the corner to Westbrook. Out to Chauncey Billups, wide open 3, count it!
Great reactions there from the Americans. The Russians had the ball, lost it. No reset on the shot clock either, and Billups nails it.
Voracevich, Kevin Durant gambling over to Bykov. And short little jumper, gets the rebound, and how in the world did he miss that? He was right into the basket, and Timothy Mozgov saying he was fouled, and nothing was called. Here comes Westbrook now. The game coming to life a little bit. Westbrook bailed out, and David Blatt is not going to be happy about that.
Did it go out?
Kevin Love coming into the contest. Westbrook's, I think, former UCLA teammate. Lamar Odom out. So Westbrook. David Blatt is constantly riding his players. And Kevin Durant, short, looked like he may have been hit. Nothing was called. And cuts off the point guard in with Bykov out, number 13. And this is a big ask for him. I mean, it does look like a man against a boy out there.
I don't think he started shaving yet, number 13 for Russia.
Voronov as well, number 14. He's tough. Tough defender.
Oh, great pass.
Fritzen over to Voronov on the baseline. Count it!
Superb passing there from Russia. Got back to within 2 points. Well, David Blatt said he hadn't got any scorers, but they're doing a good job at the moment from the rim, from the perimeter.
Kostov, by the way, is 21 years of age, number 13. Voronov, Chauncey Billups, entry pass, Derrick Rose, and floats it over the giant Mozgov. Back to a 4-point advantage. Kostov. I think Derrick Rose was expected before this game to be going up against guards that are about 6'8", 6'7", but he hasn't faced anybody like that yet. Kostov, back to Voracevich, gets Durant off his feet. Back to Kotsov for three. Count it! Gosh, who said these guys couldn't shoot? I did. And I can tell you right now, they're shooting as well as they've shot at this FIBA World Championship.
And you're not the only one who said they couldn't shoot, Jeff. The coach did as well, David Blatt.
4 of 5 from three-point range. Russia, the three-point shooting, keeping them right in the game. But Kevin Durant has an answer for it. Right back at you, he says. Kostov. Oh, finds Mozgov for the two-handed jam. And the longer this game goes on and the longer Russia stay in it, you better believe they're going to start thinking they've got a chance. 7 minutes to go, or 7 minutes into the first quarter. Very positive start for the Russians, who again are without Kriapa, without J.R. Holden, without Kirilenko. And the ball goes 4 seconds on the shot clock. The ball goes out of bounds. Billups comes out. Derrick Rose comes out. Another look at it. Voronov, great hands. And I'm seeing Krzyzewski as intense as I've seen him in this FIBA World Championship right now. Durant into the lane, forces it up, and no good. Good hands by Russia. And instead of waiting, they hurried up the court, and then Fritzen pulls it back. Rudy Gay into the game, guarding Fritzen. So he's got a size advantage. Here comes Fritzen, and a high arcing shot, clearly affected. Great rebound from Voracevich, and elects to bring it back out. Russia electing to try to control the tempo. Slowing it down. Kostov over to Fritzen, again passes up the three, hands it off to Mozgov. Oh, it goes in for a three-point play opportunity.
Great passage of play from Russia. This kid, Dmitry Kostov, come off the bench. He has inserted something into their offense, and it's a great passing game from him. And how did he find the big guy in there then? And this, believe it or not, to put Russia into the lead.
And Mozgov does put Russia on top. And the Americans well aware of how one of these games is going to come back up the way they played Brazil. Durant, no hesitation, puts up the three. And Kevin Love, the great rebounder, keeps it alive. But Russia come away with it. And Kostov saying that the ball's messed up and it needs to be fixed. Maybe it's wet. Fritzen for three. Off the rim, and Love reaches up for the rebound. He is. I think he is the best rebounder in this tournament. Strong move. Here comes Fritzen. In terms of technique, anyway. Voronov. Strong into the lane. And he has a chance for a three-point play. Are you watching Moscow? Russia off to a flyer here in the first quarter. Wow. And Stephen Curry coming in. This is what it's all about. Tyson Chandler coming in. Westbrook takes a seat. Love takes a seat. And look at the emotion from the Russians.
And I asked the question at the beginning of the game, does Coach Blatt have plan B? There's no uglification of this game yet. They're playing tough defense, but wonderful offense.
Well, good defense from Vorontsevich, forces the turnover.
Vorontsevich, what a tournament he's having.
And you know, you could see with the exchange of words that he had right at the start of the game with Andre Iguodala that these guys weren't going to back down. Kostov hands it off to Voronov. And to Vorontsevich, and shoots an air ball. Steph Curry up ahead to Durant, who's going to take it.
Offensive.
And the block.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's given the two as well.
Goodness gracious. That is big time continuation. I need to see that one again. Look at this. Well, referee right on it. He gives it to him.
Well, David Blatt incensed at that non-charging call.
Telling his players to sit down, keep their composure. And Durant takes a three-point play. The USA breathes a sigh of relief. Stop that Russian surge. Now Steph Curry guarding Kostov.
Don't get tied up.
A little bit out of control.
That's the first bad thing he's done, and there's a foul, and both teams in the penalty.
And Curry makes that shot, but the foul beforehand. So Curry, good free throw shooter, will go to the line. Hasn't taken one single free throw at this FIBA World Championship, Steph Curry.
Well, there's a buzz about the arena. And that's basically because the Russians are making a fist of this.
He's 22 years old. Really shot to fame in America while playing at Davidson College. For Bob McKillop, leading Davidson into the final 8. We got a substitution. Punkershoff into the game for Voronov. Steph Curry had a great rookie year with the Golden State Warriors. Team didn't do too well, but he had a good start.
Coach Blatt just had a word with young Kostov about that turnover.
Oh, Kostov passes it back. And to Moskov, are you kidding me? Where is the athleticism coming from on that?
Did my eyes deceive me, or did he put this in left-handed? He certainly did.
Incredible. I'm going to borrow a word from Brett Brown, the Australian coach, and say that was out-athleticing someone. And that we certainly didn't expect that from Mozgov. But he bricked the free throw. 25-25, the game really that we all hoped for. And Steph Curry a long way out. Maybe not the ideal shot for Team USA. You know, when it's tight, feed it into the big guys. But then again, Curry wide open for three, so Kostov. Punkershoff. 9 on the shot clock. Kostov. And that time, Moskov doesn't hold it. Now, new shot clock. Team USA going to hold it for 1. And Fritzen going to apply some pressure. Over to Durant now. Vorontsevich. Good guy to have in his hands. He's going to pull up. He's going to step back. And affected. Well, a fitting conclusion to the opening quarter, really. For the first time, it's almost as if Kevin Durant has really met a challenge he's pretty much had his way at the FIBA World Championship. Russia giving Team USA everything they want and more right now here at the Sinan Erdem Dome.
Well, as well as being a great coach, Coach David Blatt is a con man as well, because he's conned us all into thinking that this was going to be a defense-orientated game, and 25 points against the United States is testament to the fact that he has got players who can score.
Well, the 4 of 6 from three-point range is a surprise. The rebounding, maybe not so much a surprise, because we know that they're big and athletic, but defensively they've done pretty well. They've altered some shots from the United States. Well, the United States, they didn't bring their Olympic team from 2008, but they brought a lot of good players. And just as we saw against Brazil, they now face what appears to be quite a test here against a Russian team that's coming out focused and determined and ready to give them their best shot. One thing to mention, Roy, don't forget when David Blatt took over this Russian team, it was after Eurobasket 2005 when Russia had high hopes and they crashed out. They lost in the quarterfinals. He came in, had to lead them through qualifying just to get to the European Championship. And his main thing was, I've got to toughen these guys up. And he has no inhibitions whatsoever about getting them G'd up every time. You will see him yelling all the time. He is a very emotional, passionate coach. Now, how are the United States going to respond? And I thought the three was going in, but Ponkarshoff with the rebound.
Well, there are two types of toughness: tough physicality, and these Russians certainly are tough between the ears.
Oh, Moskov almost scored down low. I was just wondering what was going through the minds of the United States players who came to watch last night Turkey. And that was a powerful team. And I'm telling you right now, the USA are not as good as they were at the start of this tournament shooting the ball. It's like they're to come up that short on that shot. Kostov has it knocked away. In other words, I'm thinking the Russians have gotten inside their head a little bit.
Oh, my goodness me.
And Kostov, I thought, was going to miss the layup. But he made it. Nobody picked him up. And immediately a change is going to be made as Kostov looks off Rudy Gay. And Steph Curry, Eric Gordon coming out.
And the Russian fans absolutely loving this.
And Krzyzewski brings in his A defenders. Curry.
No high fives on the US bench at the moment.
Brings in Billups and Curry. And that's the captain right there, Chauncey Billups. Been with this USA national team program for a while. He was able to come out and lead them at the FIBA World Championship. Rudy Gay takes it inside. No good. Goran Savage with the rebound, 1 and out. And that's the most startling statistic, really, the rebounds. How the Russians are really kind of almost controlling the boards.
Minute and 20 gone in the second period, and the Americans are 0 and 3.
Goran Savage gets Rudy Gay off his feet. Well, 29-25. Alarm bells are ringing without question in Washington, D.C. We've got a game on our hands.
Shot clock on 4. Travel.
Odom Can you believe the self-destruct mode? They are just completely and utterly now out of sync. Rudy Gay coming up short. People not picking up the penetration. And now just fumbling the ball away, Lamar Odom.
Let's call it 2 minutes without scoring, the Americans.
And what kind of tune-up did the United States have? Well, they had an easy game against Angola, whereas Russia had to really fight against New Zealand. And Voracevich had a good shot, but didn't make it. Kostov tries to slow up the fast break, and he does. Kostov with the foul. That's his first.
So Jay Money coming back in, replacing Voracevich.
I'm just wondering right now, as Blatt talks to Voracevich, and we look at Sergei Monia, what is it that Andrei Kirilenko would be thinking right now, having said, no, I don't want to play this summer?
J.R. Holden, Kelly McCarthy, naturalized Americans, declined the offer.
Well, in it goes.
Mozgov second.
Chauncey Billups. Foul called on Mozgov, who's been sensational. Well, I think that's a tough call against him. He was just standing there.
Yeah, what he's saying is, I did not initiate the contact there, ref. And he comes out and replaced by Sasha Cowan.
And look at that. Mozgov talking to Blatt. He basically says, shut up and sit down. I know what you're talking about. I don't want to hear it. I mean, it was almost a miracle when they upset Spain in Madrid to win the European title. So David Blatt understands full well what it's like to be battling against the odds, against a team that, you know, is the favorite. And nice hustle from both teams.
Oh, Billups.
And Billups with a foul, catching Sasha Cohn in the eye. I don't know if that clearly wasn't an intentional.
Well, the USA.
Look at David Blatt. What a character.
USA 1 point in 2.5 minutes. Nothing from the field.
And the ball goes into the backcourt, and the USA defense now just 10 seconds on the shot clock, so Blatt might want to think about getting a timeout. 4 on the shot clock. Well, Punkershoff goes straight in, and good rebound almost from Fritzen. Challenges Odom. Here comes the Durant.
Uh-oh.
And tough shot from Kevin Durant, but draws the foul. And Fritzen, and Punkershoff rather, arguing with the ref. Here's another look at that. Yeah, that was the block. I think he was right on it.
Yeah,
Stuff didn't like it.
Good call. Just couldn't resist putting his hand in there. Played good defense as far as his frame is concerned, but just reached in. And he's replaced by Sergei Bykov. Great game so far, though. Dmitry Kostov.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, all of these guys have surprised us today. Durant makes the first. I mean, looking back at what Russia did, they beat Puerto Rico. They really pushed Turkey hard, but lost. And that says a lot about them. They beat the Ivory Coast, China, Greece, and New Zealand. So they are tested. You know, they don't really blow teams out, and they don't really usually get blown out. You know, it's a tough team. Punkershoff. Iguodala has 2 fouls. Fritzen at the line. Well, well, well.
Punkershoff adds a new dimension to the Russian team at the point. Great passer of the ball.
And nice swat. Sergei Monia comes up with it. Back to Bykov. Punkershoff drives in. Over to Fritzen. Passes up to 3. And Fritzen a little too unselfish there. Bounce pass to Derrick Rose. And he misses, but great follow-up by Iguodala. And David Blatt is going to call a timeout. One more look at it. Derrick Rose missed. And Iguodala there for the follow.
Well, that fast break all came from a mistake by Fritzen. I don't understand why he didn't shoot from the corner. He went inside, lost the ball, and he's a great three-point shooter.
And that's really says a lot. The United States, as on the follow that we just saw, get a lot of their points off rebounds. But right now they're trailing in that department. And the three-point shooting as well. Russia came in shooting 33% from long range.
Great pass there from Kostov.
That was the athleticism that we didn't expect from Mozgov.
And the left hand we didn't expect as well.
But Kostov really did pull some strings. And good D from Durant. And USA thought the ball had gone off Russia. USA very unhappy with that call. 7 on the shot clock. So you can see the last two times down the floor for Russia, they faced a little bit better defense. And the steal. Now the question is, did he have control of that? No time ran off the clock. He was getting ready to make the pass.
Yeah, I think the referee's gone to the table to say 1 second should have come off the clock then. Yeah,
they're going to say they're going to say reset it. That he had possession.
Well, I'm not convinced that US had possession there.
I think he did, but I think we're going to have to agree to disagree because it looked like he was ready to make the pass, and that's why the referees made the call. But certainly the USA would not agree with me. They'd agree with you. Bykov, Sergei Monya.
That's it. Patience from the Russians.
Over to Monya. 3 on the shot clock. Monya puts up a tough shot. And good, strong rebound from Sasha Kohn. And the ball batted back outside to Russia. To Pokrashov. And the foul called on Chauncey Billups trying to move Vitaly Fritzen out of the way. 2 quick fouls from Chauncey Billups here. And Yevgeny Voronov coming in, as well as our favorite Kostov. Here we go. Oh, well, you know, it's a physical game, but I guess you could say he shoulder barged him.
Well, I don't understand Russia at all there. They got a great rebound, and then within 2 seconds of getting it, threw another shot up.
Yeah, I thought they were going to pull that back out.
Very lucky to get a foul called in their favor there.
Funny thing about it is, these USA basketball brought so many people over. You won't get a word with Coach K unless it's in the press conference. You know, David Blatt walks around the hotel. How you doing, Dave? What are you thinking about? You know, you go and you talk to any of the players. It's just it's the difference in these teams. The only problem is most of the Russians don't speak English. It's a problem for the English speakers. Bykov hits the long J. Just a 2.
Great out of bounds there from the Russians.
And Kevin Durant, gosh, his shot looks worse today than it has all tournament long.
And what a steal from Bykov.
And I think that was Westbrook with the turnover. Kostov. And almost picked off. Bykov pulls it back. 10 on the shot clock. Hands it back off to Sasha Kohn. Gets it back. Sergei Bykov scores. 35-30. And the United States calling a timeout. Here's another look at, he fumbles the ball. Fortuitous. How lucky is that? But great awareness from Bykov. And look at that Russian bench.
How do you describe that pass? A fumble pass. But it led to 2. And a 5-point Russian lead.
Look how excited they are just to be in the game.
Oh, Bykov. Well, said his prayers last night on that one, I think. This is as hard as Coach K has had to work here in Turkey.
I mean, this is the difference right here. 23 rebounds for Russia, 15 for the United States. They're going to show that stat at halftime. And I guarantee it's going to bring results in a second.
Well, we're halfway through this second period. And it's been not exactly all Russia so far, but a lot of the good things that have happened have been done by the team in red. And at the moment, you have to say, the US living on the strength of their fast break.
Well, we know we had youth, inexperienced in terms of international games, and great athleticism in the United States team coming over, and they came over as advertised. You know, they haven't come over here saying we're going to conquer the world. You know, they knew they were going to find some tough games. They had a tough game early on against Slovenia. They really had a tough game against Brazil, and they really have a tough game against Russia, at least so far. And on that one, that was far too easy for the United States to score for Russia. David Blatt's not going to be happy.
Great screen by Lamar Odom. Must have been in the painted area for, let's say, 3.5 seconds.
Bekoff, and one shot and out that time. And Blatt asking why he didn't make the interior pass. And Westbrook, quick up, and the rebound and the foul called on Sergei Bekoff. Two fouls on Sergei Bekoff. Got two ball handlers in there right now, Kostov and Bekoff. Westbrook comes out, and Eric Gordon comes in.
Now Russia have got to avoid the easy score against them here.
Well, you know, Eric Gordon, one of the three-point shooters in this USA team.
That foul puts Russia in the penalty. And still just over 4 minutes remaining first half.
Eric Gordon shooting 53% from three-point range here in Istanbul. And he doesn't waste any time!
You called it, Jeff. And that ties things up at 35s. So two easy scores coming out of the timeout for the United States.
And you feel like a mental lapse now from Russia. Losing their concentration just a little bit. Vorcevic going up against Iguodala. And Iguodala strong, puts it away. Good defense for the United States. 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
The signal is thumbs up from Coach Blatt.
USA up in their game on the defensive end. How are Russia going to respond? And great defense again from Eric Gordon. And they stopped the clock.
The referee apologizing to Coach K. He made a mistake. He acknowledged it. Now, the referees are only human. He heard the buzzer go for the shot clock. Stopped the fast break.
Yeah, but that's a bad mistake. You have to say. I'm willing to give the referee the benefit of the doubt. And he knows it. I think the referee knows it.
He did apologize.
And you almost hope the USA get a point here because you know they're about to score.
Vorcevic the rebound. Oh, is that going to be called unsportsmanlike?
Wow.
Referee's thinking about it.
Well, let's watch this again. I believe that's the Polish referee.
Well, he was not happy, the referee. And
here we go.
Definitely thought about it. Yeah, there it is.
That's nothing. I mean, I can see it's a foul, but nothing untoward there. Bekoff for three. And cooling off a little bit, Russia right now on offense.
US ball.
For a minute there, I thought the ref was going to give the ball to Russia. That would have really got them up off their feet.
Russians getting Tonkrashov back in to replace Bekoff.
You do feel like Russia have just played above themselves a little bit. Now they're coming back down to earth, and you sense the United States want to land a few punches.
Yeah, they got to dig in.
Derrick Rose draws the foul. Lamar Odom walks away like he was hit. Watch this.
Yeah, got his arm. Yeah, Russians have got to dig deep now for 3 minutes. They've done a great job so far, and now is not the time to let the Americans go on a big surge of scoring.
And Derrick Rose doesn't put him back in front yet. At the free throw line today, USA shooting 79%. Just 21 years of age. Derrick Rose, and really one of the best players in the world. Second one good. United States back up on top by 1. Kostov. What if we'll see any full court pressure from the United States? Vorncevic. Voronov. Strong body. Voronov drives in, uses his body to shield it. Vorncevic, and great defense from Eric Gordon, knocks it away. And quickly to the other end, and he gets blocked from Sergei Monya. But the insertion of Eric Gordon has really sparked the United States.
Well, 2 passages of play there. Russia had the ball stripped away, but they got back in transition defense quickly enough to stop the easy score.
Iguodala comes out. He's guarded by Ponkrashov. Vorncevic guarding Odom. Now Durant goes around Sergei Monya. Oh, what a tough shot. Now that's the Kevin Durant we've been used to seeing. And offensive foul called on Voronov.
What?
Well, I think he really went into him and set that pick. If we look at it again, Evgeny Voronov, physical defender. Here we go, watch this. I mean, I've seen worse.
Yet you see worse 100 times a game.
Oh, United States now leading 38-35. And David Blatt's team has kind of lost its momentum. It's almost the question of now is can they kind of steady the ship here at the end of the first half?
I think you should bring Mozgov back in, the 7'1" guy. Then again, he's on 2 fouls. What he doesn't want is that 3rd foul before halftime. But he's losing it at both ends at the moment. He needs the presence of Mozgov in there.
It's almost as if Russia's lost their mojo.
There you go, those turnovers. 8 points for the United States from pretty unforced errors, really, from Russia. Now Russia have to dig deep, 2:14 to go in the first half. They're on defense when they come back out of the timeout. Just a smidgen more of belief in the eyes of the American players than 4 or 5 minutes ago. Sasha Kaun back in for the Russians.
So Sasha Kaun gives them an option inside. So Russia going to sit back in a 2-3 zone. And Derrick Rose over to Eric Gordon. And you can't leave him open. Well, they get away with it that time.
Yeah, levering. Well,
3 fouls on Evgeny Voronov. Voronov now has to come out. He got in foul trouble as well against New Zealand the other night. Again, I didn't really see too much of that, so he's very tough calls on Voronov. And Iguodala takes advantage. Iguodala, 2 free throws, and substitution as Monya comes back into the game for Voronov, who goes to the bench with 3 fouls.
I think that's 10 points in a row for the United States, and a lot of them from the line. It was 35-30, and now Russia trailing by 5.
Kostov puts up a three off the rim, but good rebound from Vorncevic, and he is swatted by Kevin Durant. Indeed, it was 35-30 with 4:48 remaining, and Russia haven't scored since.
Great rebound, but get out of here.
And Pongrashov goes in, pushed by Eric Gordon.
That puts the United States in the penalty, so out of bounds for Russia. Yeah, a little push.
Kostov looks for the gimme down low. Ends up giving it to Vorncevic. Now Odom switches over. Kostov, penetration, back out to Monia for three. That's what he was known for when he was drafted, went to the NBA. But hasn't really been shooting the ball that well. And quickly to the other end, Derrick Rose over to Gordon, who steps in and dishes it off to Andre Iguodala. And the United States killer run continues.
And the foul, Sergio Monia, 12 without reply for the United States, and a bonus to come.
Well, the USA have responded well to a very tough first half. They have now taken a 7-point advantage. But missed the free throw. Now Kostov. Who's going to stop the rot for the Russians? Kostov. Back out to Vorncevic. Pongrashov, 5 on the shot clock. Pongrashov misses badly, and that ball goes out of bounds off of Iguodala. It's definitely off Iguodala.
Well, Sasha Khan hadn't got a clue where that ball had gone then. 42 seconds remaining, first half.
The new shot clock for Russia. And they can't buy a basket right now. Haven't scored since the 4:48 mark.
But it should be damage limitation now for the Russians. Run the clock down. Don't give up anything easy.
Well, Pongrashov somehow got that ball back. Vorncevic on the baseline. Good!
At last.
And that means they'll get the ball back as Team USA call a timeout. Well, that stopped the bleeding. Kind of in a frenetic little episode there. Vorncevic hits the baseline jumper.
Well, a terrible 3.5 minutes for Russia, but the Americans made them pay for that with 12 unanswered points. But it's still only a 5-point game with 31.5 seconds remaining in the first half.
Well, the USA, the Russians have cooled off from 3-point range, and the USA have hit a couple of more now, so I think we're so used to watching Serbia and Turkey hit those 3-pointers yesterday. I mean, they were like 50+%.
Well, during this timeout, I just wonder how two teams in particular are feeling watching this, if indeed they are watching. Brazil and Spain. Spain, the dethroned world champions, they have no chance of winning this. And here they are looking at a game, or watching a game, in which the Russians are taking the Americans pretty close at the moment. And Brazil, remember, they had the chance to beat the Americans from the foul line at the group stage.
And as well, it seemed Kevin Durant was really struggling, but he has now got 17 points on a different array of shots. He is a natural-born scorer. No question about it. So will they hold it for one and then go for the miss in case they're unsuccessful? Or will they attack the basket immediately? Nope, they attack it. And Durant surprises me a little bit.
Well, despite all the pressure from the Russians, Durant, the ability to change his shot in the air.
6 seconds now, 5, 4. Kostov passes it inside to Kohn, and he gets it up and in. And Russia will go to halftime trailing it 44-39.
And the first thing that Coach David Blatt does is go across to Sasha Cowan and thank him very much for those 2 points on the buzzer of half-time. It's a 5-point USA lead. Well, going off at half-time, Jeff, I think the Russians would have taken this.
Well, I was just about to say that before this game. If they were offered a 5-point halftime deficit, they would have taken it. They still lead in the rebounding, and that's given them a chance. They had excellent ball movement in the first half, but those 6 steals for the United States, that defensive pressure is starting to up it just a little bit.
Yeah, and to my mind, Coach David Blatt still has an ace up his sleeve in the figure of 7-foot-plus Timothy Mozgov. 2 fouls, but he...
Well, we just had 20 minutes of rather unexpected, incredible basketball. Roy, we're at the FIBA World Championship watching Team USA play Russia. Team USA coming into this game, I think most people would say big favorites. And that young man right there, Kostov for Russia, making some great plays and helping them lead for much of the contest before a late 12-0 run by the United States helped them get up on top. And they took a 44-39 lead to the break.
Well, the old saying is, if you can hang around till the fourth period, then you stand a chance. Points from turnovers, USA 8, Russia 2. Points in the paint, 18 USA, Russia 16. So they're leading in 2 categories there. Second chance points, 8 for USA, Russia 7. Fast break points, and that's a key statistic there. 9 from the USA, only 2 for Russia. But the fact of the matter is that the Russians are hanging around. It's only a 5-point game. I get the impression that the bulk of the fans here in Istanbul want to see a shock. They love the athleticism and the fabulous moves of the United States players. So they also like seeing the underdog.
Absolutely, that's the main thing. If you start hearing the cheering, it's nothing against the USA. It's just everybody loves an underdog. Not to mention the fact that I'm sure there's some fans of other teams here that would like to see the USA go out so they wouldn't have to play them. But good start for the United States, and Odom with a strong rebound. One statistical category where they got beat in the first half was on the rebounding, and I'm sure the players were told of that at the break. Durant goes straight around and goes past Mozgov.
The only surprise there is he didn't dunk it. Lovely little finger roll.
Sergei Bykov. A lot more active American defense, it seems. And good shot from the youngster, Kostov. So maybe Blatt just said, guys, let's go out, play some D, and make some more three-pointers. Let's have a good time.
It's almost telepathy between Kostov and Blatt. Every time anything happens, Kostov looks to the bench and waits for instructions.
2 fouls on Vorncevic. David Blatt. Framingham, Massachusetts. Played at Princeton for the great, well, the legend Pete Carroll. And ended up going to Israel trying to play professional basketball. He's Jewish and ended up becoming an Israeli citizen, serving in the Israeli army. And Chauncey Billups for 3. But that led him into coaching, and here he finds himself coaching Russia's national team.
Well, poor defense there from the Russians, just allowing Billups a clear look.
Bykov, Vorncevic in the corner to Sergei Monya. And Monya, again, he's a good shooter, but hasn't shot well in this tournament. Derrick Rose in the corner, bounce pass into Odom. United States passing the ball around. Into the corner, Iguodala goes back into Lamar Odom, and he is fouled by Mozgov. That's number 3. 3 fouls on Timothy Mozgov.
Yeah, David Black looks down the bench and immediately sends for Sasha Count, I think. He's thinking about it. No, leaves Mozgov out there.
I liked it during the break. Durant went over to the American bench and was listening to Russell Westbrook share some information. So they're really into it, the United States. And without question, hoping to get on top of the Russians by a big margin here in the 3rd quarter. But Odom misses the first free throw. Tyson Chandler hasn't, I don't believe he's gotten in yet, has he?
Well, how many times the Americans been reminded of the low point in US basketball history? 6th place on their home court in 2002. They do not want a repeat of that. If they lose this, then they're in the playoffs for 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Well, he made the second, so it's a 8-point lead. Tyson Chandler did play a couple of minutes in the first half. Bykov, and nice drive from Sergei Bykov, but the Americans crashed the boards that time. And Kostov rushes up the court. 4 fouls on the youngster.
Make it 3. Sorry.
3 fouls on Kostov.
Yeah, and they've all been of the same kind of foul.
Trying to disrupt that American fast break. Odom now. USA with an 8-point advantage. Billups has hit a 3-pointer here in the second half. Voracevich on Durant. It's got to happen on the defensive end for Russia if it's going to happen. And good job boxing out from Bykov. Bykov played at the Eurobasket last year for Russia, which failed to qualify directly for the FIBA World Championship. They needed a wild card, one of 4 wild cards. And boy, have they made the most of it. Kostov into the corner. Voracevich. And ball goes out off of Kostov into the hands of one of the USA players. And now Billups has it into the corner. Derrick Rose short. Monia. Now Russia with a little fast break opportunity. And Kostov holds up. And the foul on Lamar Odom.
Well, Lamar Odom said on day 1 of the training camp he felt drastically out of condition and a little bit slow there to move his feet. As Kostov comes out.
Well, if he's playing out of condition right now, I wish I could be out of condition like that. Sergei Mozgov for 3, or sorry, Monia for 3. So finally, Sergei Monia, United States trying to strangle that paint area, leaving the Monia wide open. And Lamar Odom goes in with a strong move, contact, no foul. Odom wanted the foul, definitely contact. I think without question in the NBA that would have been a foul, but this ain't the NBA.
Well, the fact of the matter is that no damage has been done. This is where we were at halftime, and the US still leading by. What a block! What a block! US leading by 5.
Yep, great play great defensive play from Durant. Here's the contact. Well, it was initiated actually by. It was initiated.
4 on the shot clock.
Yeah. And Ponkershoff and rims out. And look at the outlet pass, or the, goodness gracious, what strength in the overhead pass. And Billups hits the 3.
The secondary fast break, what a killer.
Great USA reaction. Now it's an 8-point advantage. Bykov, right about the free throw line, drains it. The point guards for Russia doing a good job, but Billups hurried to the other end. He feels it, and Iguodala pushes off and picks up the foul.
Over the back, yep. Not a good option there from Chauncey Billups. 1 on 3. Okay, looks pretty if it goes in.
Sergei Bykov, by the way, with 12 points for Russia.
2 number 7s in, Vitaly Fritzen and Russell Westbrook.
You can see why Iguodala was upset, but if you are coming from behind like that, there's a chance you're going to get the foul called on you. Westbrook in, guarding Punkershoff. Mozgov. Now Monya. And Westbrook gets a hand on it, and it goes off Vitaly Fritzen.
Well, the classic mistake there from Fritzen. Thought he was going to get the call, left it, and didn't get the call. Correctly so as well.
Westbrook. And it goes, and Derrick Rose gets swatted by Mozgov. They're saying it was a block.
Mozgov, 4 fouls. The crowd don't like it.
I don't think it was on Mozgov. It was surely not.
Yeah, it was. Yep, 4 fouls, Mozgov. Let's have a look.
I thought they were calling. Oh, he definitely got body, but in FIBA ball, as they like to say, you wouldn't usually see that one. And David Blatt just stares at the referee.
Well, the fact of the matter is that Mozgov actually very lucky not to get a technical there. Just went charging at the referee, and that's the last thing a referee wants.
A 7-point game. Derrick Rose trying to spark the Americans. Good job of Sasha Khan boxing out Durant. See if that sparks the Russians now into life. I mean, defensively, the USA playing much better in this half.
David Blatt is absolutely beside himself with Anton Punkershoff for throwing that pass.
You don't see Krzyzewski yelling at the American players like that, do you?
David Blatt wears his heart on his sleeve, I think.
Fritzen looking a little shaky now. Entry to Vorcevic and Fritzen. And he's going to have to hurry it up here, Vorcevic, and they're not going to get it off. Russia fall asleep, and Blatt is going to make a change, and I bet it's going to be Fritzen that's going to come out. A couple of bad minutes for Vitaly Fritzen, and he's going to go straight to the bench, and Blatt's not even going to look at him.
Yeah, 2 turnovers in the last 30 seconds from Fritzen.
Well, it's just the unawareness, I think, of the shot clock. Some mental lapse. Phillips, his team leading by 7. And Phillips drives in the lane. He is really strong now.
Biggest lead of the game for Russia. Sorry, for America, they lead by 9. This could be 11.
The Westbrook steal and the tomahawk. And Westbrook is really sparked this American team. It's that American defense that Mike Krzyzewski loves. Watch this. He came up, he knocked the ball away, and then he goes down with the flush. USA on top by 11.
Well, just at the end of the first half, 3 minutes of mayhem created by the American defense, and we've just had about a minute and a half of the same kind of thing, and suddenly it's the biggest lead of the game. 11 points to the Americans.
Well, 13 turnovers. One thing the United States can do is they can put on that pressure. It didn't bother the Russians early on. It's incredible how the major international tournaments keep coming along year after year after year. The United States, if they qualify for the Olympics, if they win this and qualify for the Olympics, I don't know that they would go to the FIBA Americas Championship. They tend to skip it. But in Europe, that never happens. The teams always turn up.
You never know with the Americans. They may send part of their training squad. They've learned from bitter experience that sometimes the big stars don't turn up for the big tournaments for whatever reasons.
Bikoff drives in and gets a chance for a three-point play. He's been outstanding. You know, Kostov and Bikoff have been terrific.
Well, Bikoff knows Coach Blatt's coaching methods off by heart. He had a season with him at Dynamo Moscow.
Well, he barely got that off the glass in front of Derrick Rose.
Back to 8.
Russia hanging around. Durant. Durant hands it off to Derrick Rose. Into the corner of Westbrook. And Westbrook hits the three. Oh, nice anticipation. Get ready. The two-handed jam from Russell Westbrook. Westbrook is grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck right now.
Turnovers killing Russia. David Blatt, double teapot stance. A rare moment of, well, quiet solitude for him.
Good cross court to Sergei Monya, and had a good shot and threw it way too hard off the glass. Now 3-on-2 fast break. Westbrook again. Contact, no call, and the ball goes out of bounds. And the Russians now with the look on their eyes of
bewilderment.
Yeah.
What's gone wrong? 13 points they trail by.
They've got to keep their composure. And I'm sure going on in David Blatt's mind right now is we don't want to run with these guys. Russia had that playing kind of like with that chip on their shoulder in the first half. It hasn't really been evident as much in the second.
Again, low in the shot clock.
4 on the shot clock. Monya's going to have to rush it up, and something strange happens. They reset the shot clock. They're going to have to stop it. I don't understand what happened there. They reset the shot clock before Russia lost possession, and then they just allowed the Americans to have the fast break. And I'm not even sure that David Blatt was aware of it. Bikoff for 3. This thing's getting away from Russia now. They're trailing by 15.
He needs a timeout now.
Phillips and Odom out fights Sasha Kohn for the board. Sergei Monya on the ground. The jump ball, and it's going to turn over. Jump ball situation to Russia, I believe. No, to the United States.
Well, maybe now is the time for David Blatt to bring Plan A into execution. He said he was going to make this game ugly. He hasn't done that yet. He trails by 15, and I don't see any way back unless Russia do it at the defensive end. They've got to stop giving the ball away and then score and then play defense as though their lives depended upon it.
Well, Russell Westbrook with 9 points. Chauncey Billups, Derrick Rose, and now Russia attack the basket. Sasha Kohn at the line. Moskov out of the game with those 4 fouls. How big was that call? Vorisevich gets his man up off the ground and draws the foul.
And the last thing Russia wanted, Eric Gordon coming back in, as indeed is Tyson Chandler.
Lamar Odom out. Chauncey Billups, who's been terrific, comes out. You know, difficult moments for this USA team. If they can get through this game and win it, it's going to make them better, without question. I think they want to be having closer games than just blowouts, because when you come up against some of these other teams here, especially the likes of Turkey, potentially, or Argentina, you know it's going to be a lot closer. You got to know how to react in those situations.
Yeah, I can't see what the US got out of that game the other night against Angola. Was it 50 points or something like that? But
it was over. It was over early.
But they've certainly got a lot out of this game.
Well, they're leading by 13 points. Durant into the lane, and his shot affected, and good defense from Russia. Count with the rebound. Bornsevich over to Kostov. 1:15 to go here in the third quarter.
Now Russia, if they can get within single figures,
oh, nice. Somehow Kahn got the ball back and went up over Tyson Chandler, and it's an 11-point game. A minute to go. Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Again, an amazing pass there from young Kostov. I was about to say that's a terrible pass, but he found his man. Get it to single figures, Russia.
Well,
Make a game of it.
Durant fouled by Bornsevich.
And Coach Krzyzewski just cancelled the timeout, wants to make a substitution instead. There's the foul. Steve Curry in. Derrick Rose out.
Kevin Durant, 21 points, and he was certainly not at his best in the first half. It just shows how good he is, how quickly he can put points on the board as Rudy Gay gets ready to come in. But Westbrook has been the man. 7 points here in the third quarter for the USA, and great defense. He's in the game. I think Coach K has done a good job of shuffling in players and finding the right mix. See the middle of your screen there, some of the USA fans watching, the family members of the players. So back to a 13-point lead. Kostov and Stephen Curry has come in. Ponkrashov and the double team. Tyson Chandler has to hustle back, and the pass gets away. Curry now over to Westbrook, goes between his legs, and the foul called on Ponkrashov. No. Kostov with the foul, so that is his fourth.
And the fact that Russia in the penalty means he's coming out, replaced by Sergei Bykov. Well, you remember this game for a long time. Young Kostov had a great first period. A couple of turnovers though, and that really began the rot as far as Russia are concerned.
Well, a lot of these players do have experience in some of the top European leagues. There's some good teams in Russia that play in the Euro Cup, Euro Challenge, Euro League. And Tyson Chandler misses the first free throw.
Yeah, the bulk of these players come from the CSKA Moscow team, the Russians. Perennial Final Four team.
Makes the second one. So the biggest lead of the game, not quite. They've led by more than this. They're up by 15. So now it's a 14-point game. Curry guarding Bykov. And the foul on Steph Curry for the reach.
And it's a two-shot foul. It's just what Russia wanted. The dying seconds of this third period.
Bykov has been very good today. 15 points. Made his only free throw. 2 of 5 from three-point range. 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He does have 3 turnovers, but 1 steal. Points for him.
Sergei Money comes out, and a rare sighting of Alexei Zukhanenko for Russia, number 9.
I just wonder, watching Bykov, if he's raised a few eyebrows across the pond, if you get my drift. 13 seconds to go in the third quarter. 12-point game. Westbrook goes hard into the lane and soars in. Great offensive rebound from Tyson Chandler and putback. And desperation, the cameraman hit the ball back to a 14-point advantage for the United States. So they win that quarter by 9 points. Well, it is the FIBA World Championship, the quarterfinal between Team USA and Russia. These teams with deep histories meeting again. The stats were much more favorable for Russia after the first quarter and even at halftime. And still doing a good job on the boards, but overall the United States almost in complete command.
Well, the last time Russia were in the World Championship final was in 1998. And in the semi-final, it looked very black for them. I think they trailed by 10 or possibly 12 points late in the fourth, but a magnificent run. And the non-NBA team that represented the United States capitulated. A full-court dribble from Sergei Panov sealed the game for the Russians. So this game has history. I'm not sure whether this American team are going to make quite the same mistake that their predecessors did. You never know, though, with a coach like David Blatt against them.
David Blatt will be coaching at Maccabi Tel Aviv, one of the big clubs in Europe. Some of the press. Well, looking back to that USA team in 1998, well, first of all, Sergei Bykov confirming how he's had a great game. 17 points, and has really been in control of everything. You know, hasn't tried to do too much. And Kostov has also come off the bench and played well for the Russians. But in that USA team, they had Brad Miller, who went on to who has had a solid NBA career, and Trajan Langdon, who's been playing in Russia for several years. Trajan Langdon played college basketball at Duke for Mike Krzyzewski.
Langdon's been the main man for CSKA for the last three or 4 years. Timothy Mozgov on 4 fouls.
Yep. No time like the present to get him in there. And the foul called on Tyson Chandler.
Mozgov did very well there, very intimidating. Look at this wrestling going on. And Mozgov very careful not to hand his man off.
I think he's going to do a little bit better than I was expecting when he goes to the NBA next year. Be an interesting one to follow.
I agree, he's had a great 18 months. And Coach Blatt has done a wonderful job with him here in the Russian national team.
Voracevich now. Mismatch, he was guarded by Curry. Moskov, but he turns it over that time, and Rudy Gay, it's a 3-on-1 fast break. Showtime for the Americans.
Oh, almost got a hand on it.
And guess who? Russell Westbrook. Well, Russell Westbrook's just been sensational here in the second half. Well, just when we were giving all the praise.
There's the steal from Mozgov. He just didn't protect the ball. So from having possession, the Russians give up a 3-point play. And it's happened too many times.
Westbrook guarding, fouls Punkershoff. And then Westbrook has a few words with Punkershoff. So a little bit of jawing out there. Not what typically you'd see in the Jerry Colangelo regime of USA basketball between Westbrook and Punkershoff. A little bit of intimidation. See how Punkershoff reacts. Punkershoff's a pretty big boy.
6'7" for a guard, that's big.
And I think Voracevich maybe could have come down with that one. Tried to knock it out. 60-point game. Steph Curry. Puts it on the floor, drives. Wraparound pass to Eric Gordon in the corner, off the rim, and Vorcevic beats Rudy Gay to the ball and draws the foul.
And Rudy Gay says, well, why'd you call the foul on me, ref? We were both hitting each other.
He almost came up with the ball for the United States on that one. Bikov. Punkershoff in the corner to Bikov. Back outside, Vorcevic for three. Good! Well, there's life in the Russians yet. 13-point game. Hit a couple of long shots. You never know. Eric Gordon, though, left open, and Blatt's not going to like that.
Well, for a second, Coach Blatt actually believed, but then Eric Gordon dispelled that belief, I think.
I think Sergei Monya's going to pay the price by coming out.
That's not a travel. Good reactions.
Punkershoff drives in, fouled by Steph Curry. So the tough as nails defender, Yevgeny Voronov. Maybe he's going to come in for Punkershoff. I thought he was going to come in for Monya. Curry out, Westbrook out, Rudy Gay out. Rudy Gay was one of the top players for the USA in the group stage. So 2 shots for Anton Punkershoff. He was in the gold medal winning team for the Russians in Madrid at the Eurobasket 3 years ago. He played a big part of that. One of 2 for him, and back to a 15-point game. Derrick Rose into the game for the USA. 8:12 to go in the game. Gordon. And the USA whip it around the perimeter to Kevin Durant. And he salutes the crowd. The one thing you have to say about the Americans is they know how to entertain.
Well, 26 points to Durant, almost matching his 27 points against Brazil.
Vorcevic over to Yevgeny Voronov. And are they giving him a 3? They're just giving him a 2. No, they gave him a 3. And Monya, tough shot from Kevin Durant. They wanted the foul. Great play from Kevin Durant. He just takes over. I mean, once he's into the flow, there's nobody better. Voronov soars in and draws the foul.
Well, it was almost as if Mozgov fouled his own player there, but he ended up on his backside.
Well, good minutes from Tyson Chandler, giving some toughness to that USA interior. $17 points is the difference right now.
But a long time to go. Just over 7 minutes. It's been done before, but you got to get your foul shots in.
Yeah, right now, Russia shooting just 64% at the line, 9 of 14. Kevin Durant over to Derrick Rose, and he's taken down. Looked like he was almost tackled.
And Bikov saying, well, there wasn't a lot I could do about that, ref. He just slipped. Let's have a look.
Yeah, absolutely. Tough call against Sergei Bikov. Foul trouble mounting for the Russians. Moskov in there with 4 fouls. Wouldn't be surprised if Odom tried to go right at him on this sequence. Oh, no, they're not going to worry about it. Barnoff almost picks up the foul. Phillips back outside. Durant. And Beekoff boxes or shields Derrick Rose off. 6:40 to go, 17-point game. Vorcevich, maybe a size advantage on Eric Gordon. He takes him to the hoop and draws the foul. Is it on Rose?
Eric Gordon, I think. Yep, number 12.
Well, he had the size advantage. He was able to drive past him.
And the Americans been in the penalty for a long time.
I just thought Rose may have done something there because he was the one that reacted the most. I think Russia will settle for this right now. The clock's stopping and shooting free throws, but they've got to make them. Vorcevich having a good impact. I mean, he has very quietly had a double-double. 13 points, 12 rebounds. Impressive.
Got a double-double against New Zealand as well, I think.
Well, Blatt says this will be his last tournament with Russia. Will this be his last game coaching them while they're in medal contention? Because if they lose, they'll go into the classification round. They've got a lot of work to do to come back against the United States, who are trying to join Serbia.
Offensive foul.
In the semifinals. Offensive foul, Chauncey Billups. Well, definitely kind of used his right forearm. 3 fouls on him. Timeout, Russia, to talk about mounting the comeback.
It's now or never, as Elvis said, for Russia. 6 minutes to go. Russia trail by 15. And David Blatt yet to uglify the game. I wonder. Trouble is, his team loaded up on fouls. Mind you, they've only committed 2 fouls in this period, and the Americans have been in the penalty a long time. Well, one of the qualities of Coach Blatt is that he has this never say die attitude. And I saw him look up at that scoreboard. 6 minutes is an eternity. Can he turn this game around? It's been done before, not too many times, against a team of this quality.
Yeah, and those 12 steals by Team USA have been big. 17 points off turnovers for the U.S. They came into this tournament saying defensively is where they wanted to win games. And certainly today, it's been the defense that's really sparked them. Particularly the defense of Russell Westbrook.
And here's some full court pressure from the Americans.
So Vorcevich gets it into Beekoff. High screen. Now Vorcevich looks to the cutter. No back door there.
Shot clock.
Down to 3. And Vorcevich had the size advantage, but Rose knocks it away, and now Eric Gordon.
Well, that was the play. They ran the clock well, and then lost the ball.
Well, in the lane, and Derrick Rose, Mozgov with the board.
And every time that Russia don't score, makes this job harder for them.
Mozgov hasn't been able to receive anything inside. Monia goes in and had the chance for the three-point play and missed it. And David Blatt knows that was a chance that's gone begging.
Yeah, Russia cannot afford to let 48 seconds slip off the clock without scoring when they're trailing by 15.
3 fouls on Eric Gordon. He's got 6 points, Eric Gordon. And Sergei Monia makes the first. saw Sergei Chernov, the Russian Basketball Federation president, at halftime, and he had a smile on his face. He was happy with how things were going. Makes the second one, 13-point game. The Russian fans haven't given up. Westbrook and the turnover, and Westbrook saying he got hacked.
Coach K saying the same thing.
Here we go, look at this. I didn't see it, maybe.
Well, a rare instance there of the Americans not capitalizing on a fast break opportunity.
They want to run. They want to run in a big way. Bekoff into the lane. And his pass knocked away by Odom. Now it's Durant in transition. Over to Billups, left wide open for three. Count it! Boy, that was big. Great defense from Lamar Odom. 18 turnovers now for Russia. Mozgov hasn't really gone at Odom here in the second half. And shot an air ball.
Bekoff takes a break, replaced by Dmitry Kostov on 4 fouls.
That's a 16-point advantage. Time now becoming the enemy of Russia. Kevin Durant has it taken away, but Derrick Rose or Westbrook chases it down and is fouled by Sergei Monya. I don't think we've seen the physical Russian defense that we expected, that we saw the other night against New Zealand.
No, I think that was a great fake thrown by Coach Blatt. Told the world what he was going to do and then did something entirely different. Great hustle, Sergei Monya, but I think it was actually Evgeny Voronov picked up the foul.
Voronov, spin move, Russell Westbrook, and the follow by Lamar Odom. And Westbrook knocks it away, and it's Russia possession. Just over 4 minutes to go. Boy, they really attacked the boards that time, the U.S., but didn't come away with a bucket. Bounce pass, and it goes.
What a
pass.
pass.
Nice two-handed jam. Great pass from Mozgov, the big fella. 14-point game. Billups for three. That was quick on that one.
You don't often see the U.S. giving a backdoor play like that.
Oh, he finds Mozgov inside, and that makes it 12. And the U.S. has seen enough. Krzyzewski wants a timeout. Oh, how Russia would love to have Priapas for this tournament. So the United States leading at 84-72 after that Mozgov dunk. Great sequence from Timothy Mozgov because he also fed Voronov the previous trip down the floor.
3.5 minutes to go. Is it possible? It's USA 84, Russia 72. And 3.5 minutes. Well, if the Russians use the clock sensibly, then it's still possible. 22 points from the fast break as opposed to 2 for Russia. USA, well, there's your 20-point game. Couple of threes here for Russia now. Really, that would put the cat amongst the proverbials.
Well, I don't think too many people gave Russia a chance in this game. And I don't know that really Blatt did as well. I mean, I know when he found out they were playing the USA, he said, well, we've got a chance. We've done some things before in the past. But did he really believe they could challenge the United States? Maybe, as you say, he was just saying one thing and believing something else altogether.
Well, Blatt wanted to press there, and none appeared. Now, he cannot afford to let the US just run the clock down. I don't think they will run it down. They don't need to, but...
Well, 10 on the shot clock. And Rose back outside to Durant, and Mr. Offense puts another 2 in. Well, he has got now 30 points. And for a guy who struggles early and ends up with 30 points, you know he's a gifted player. Monya for three. Off. And Vorcevic kept it alive, but couldn't control it. And hurt himself. I think they're going to have to stop play.
Oh, that doesn't look pretty at all. The foot was actually at a very strange angle then.
And not good. I hate to see that. That is not good. He's had such a great tournament. Vorcevic got married earlier this year. It's been a big year for him. Hopefully, I don't know how he landed. Obviously, he landed awkwardly.
Well, if Russia go on to lose this game, and that looks possible at the moment, or even probable, then they will play the losers of the Argentina-Lithuania game in the classification situation, and it doesn't look good. The man who's just turned his ankle.
Looked like he was grabbing the front of his foot, though. 10 on the shot clock. Westbrook operates against Voronov. Over to Odom. And Monya. Alley-oop. And nice play. And checking into the game for Russia, Alexei Zukaninko. And he scored on that alley-oop pass. Back to 12.
With 2 to go.
The clock really the enemy now. Russia need a turnover. Something they haven't had much of today. Spin move in the lane. Wow. Talk about the control. He is just a scorer. The word unstoppable comes to mind.
The athleticism of Kevin Durant. He almost hung in the air there. I know that's an impossibility, but look at this move. There goes stop, and what's more, he got the N1.
Doesn't look good over there, does he? Andre Vorcevic. Wow, that was live.
And that's a real pity for Vorcevic, one of the players of the tournament so far.
Zukaninko gives it to Pongrashov now. Inside 2 minutes to go. The United States, unless they suffer a major collapse here, they're going to win this in advance. But Voronov. Russia need points quickly. Zukaninko. Gosh, he looks pretty tough. Oh, no, that was Moskov. No wonder it made it look so easy. 13-point game.
Minute and a half, and the US making full use of this 24-second clock.
Well, bounce pass to Westbrook. It looks good, but he wasn't able to finish. Now Monya. Russia need to get up a shot quickly.
Chauncey Billups says, I can't hear any defense talking.
And they get it to Zukaninko, who has the mismatch, and he scores. He has looked good since coming into the game. Now it's an 11-point game inside the final minute.
And they're allowing Chauncey Billups just to tick the clock off.
Blatt telling Voronov to get up closer on Billups. And Billups goes right around him, hands it off, and Lamar Odom was blocked. Ball went out of bounds.
Ball hit the back of the backboard, actually.
Yep, good spot by the referee. And good hands from Odom, knocking it away. U.S. just have that little bit too much quality, I think, for this Russian team. But they certainly were tested early on in this game. They trailed, I think, for, what was it? Almost 15 minutes.
It's been the transition game of the Americans. So many points from the fast break. As Kevin Durant just reaches in.
Yeah, they led it pretty much for a quarter and a half. And then the Americans came back and went on that big run over the last 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes of the first half, and really have been in control ever since.
The Russians led 35-30, and then the Americans went on a 12-0 run. And if you look at the score now, 11 points, that was the key passage of play late in the first half. "25 seconds remaining. US by 11.
Polkatrov trying to get it, makes it a 10-point game. Durant, full court pressure. Derrick Rose. And back outside to Durant.
That's it.
And that's going to be it. And the Russians really give the Americans all they want to handle early on. And the USA survive it. 89-79 behind terrific defense. Russell Westbrook sparking this. Kevin Durant ended up with 33 points, a game high. 17 from Sergei Bykov for Russia, who was terrific for them. Chauncey Billups with 15, Bortsevic 14, Timothy Mozgov with 13. And that's the end for Russia. Probably, almost certainly the end for David Blatt as the coach of Russia, although he'll lead them in the classification games. The United States into the semifinals. And those USA fans that have made the trip to Istanbul are glad they did. Who will they face? Argentina or Lithuania? They're going to find out, because those two teams are going to be playing next.
Well, a gallant effort from the Russians. They lost by 10, and when they look at the stats, they'll see that the United States ran them off the floor for a large part of that game. They outclassed the Russians in the transition game.
But, you know, if rebounding is a stat of desire, that tells you a lot about the Russian effort today. They out-rebounded the USA 45-37.
Well, most fast breaks are sprung from an outlet pass from a defensive rebound, but on this occasion, it was the American defense. Lots of steals that sprung the fast break. Time after